Oh, darn it, you guys. I just turned the sound on. I've been talking like for a minute or so. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, well, I had it on mute because, I was going to go on later, to hit the button. And then I forgot to hit the unmute on the microphone. I'm so sorry, you guys. That is so funny. But anyway, yeah, Aqsa said she wasn't going to go on. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll just pick up because I missed this morning and I'm so sorry about that. I have been sleeping for like 36 hours straight, you guys. And I don't think it really has to do with my grandma or anything like that. I do that. I mean, I go through these periods where I'm either all awake or all asleep. And that, I mean, because even my sister, she came in yesterday and she's like, yeah, you were just sacked out on the couch. And so we didn't wake you up. And I'm like, well, you should have woken me up because I did wake up myself an hour later, but because, I wanted to talk to her about grandma and everything. But the weird thing is that, I mean, I have been sleeping for like 36, like a day and a half. I mean, a day and a half hours straight. And I do this. I mean, it's craziness. I mean, I go through these periods where, I'll just sleep all the time or not at all. I mean, it's nuts. Okay, so I'm going to go at the top. Okay, Scott Baylo, River Swept, and then he said rationally, Robert Wood, Poppie. Oh, that's okay, Poppie. I'm sorry. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have come on if Aqsa said she didn't want to. Hi, Aqsa. But she said she didn't want to, and since I wasn't on earlier, I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and take this hour before Scott. Hi, Lindsay. River Swept. But yeah, I don't know what the heck about my sleeping is because it's like it's unnatural, honestly. I mean, it's unnatural the amount of time I've been sleeping. And so I have no idea. I mean, because I set my alarm and I think I do remember turning my alarm off and then just promptly going back to I have no idea this morning. I don't know why I didn't wake up because normally, like, even if I'm sleep deprived or whatever, I can wake up to do the stream, So I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah, Scott Baylo says it's hard to imagine working when you don't have a normal sleep schedule. Well, yeah. And I need to get into some kind of normality, but I can't, it seems. It's weird. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. I mean, I slept all day yesterday. And see, because normally I like it when there's nobody in the house, and there was nobody in the house yesterday. So, like, I wouldn't have slept through all that because I like being alone. I'm a weirdo. But I like being alone and stuff, and nobody was here, but I slept the whole freaking day. The whole day. I slept the whole day away, and then I couldn't even wake up for this morning. So I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. Let's see. And then he says time is like one of those inchworms. Long stretch pull-up, stop, long stretch pull. Exactly. Scott Baylo says, even when I was working, I didn't get used to waking up at 6:30 and 12 years. That's funny. And Scott, you don't even look, I mean, are you really 41? You look like you're about 28 to me. Of course, actually, now that I know you're 41, you look older to me for some reason. I mean, you still don't look 41, but you don't look 28 either. I mean, because the first time I saw you, you looked 28. I had somebody tell me I'm 50, and I had somebody tell me that I looked 38 the other day, and I was ecstatic. I'm like, I'll take 38 any day. That's awesome. Yeah, Robert Wood, you didn't know that Scott Baylo was 41? He is. Doesn't he look like he's about 28 years old? It's so funny. You still get carded. I got carded until I was, I'm 50, and my sister didn't believe me because she's 18 years younger than me. She's a full sister. My mom was 18 when I was born, and I was 18 when my mom was born. And so, but anyways, or when Jamie was born, I meant, oh shoot, I shouldn't have said her name. My sister. But anyways, yeah, people carded me she didn't believe me. And then we went to the liquor store together and they carded me, and she's like, oh my God, because I'm so much older than her. She just didn't believe me, But they don't card me anymore. I mean, I'm 50 and I've got grades, but about 8 years ago, they were still carding me. And I thought that was fantastic. I was 42 and they're still carding me. And I'm like, yes. But they say that they do card people under 40. So, but yeah, they don't card me anymore. I'm looking kind of old. I've got the grades around the temples. I've got, I don't really have any wrinkles though. I don't have wrinkles yet. And I don't know if that's, I've told you guys about my family longevity. So I don't know if it's because of that or what. I don't have any wrinkles, but I do have what I really super hate is all my grays in my eyebrows. I cannot stand that. And I have tons of grays in my eyebrows. And it's like, what the heck? What, I pluck them out all the time, but they keep coming back. And I used to have really thick, and then even my eyelashes, people would always comment on my eyelashes and they would brush up against like my glasses, because my eyelashes were so long. But they're not that long anymore, and they're gray and whatever. Gray aliens, Robert Wood says. Let's see. I've been rambling, so I need to go back up to the chat here. Yeah, it's great to be carded when you're 35, Poppy, right? I was carded up until I was about 42. And that's when they stopped carding me. And I was happy with it. Every time they carded me, I was like, here you go, MFer. I'm old enough to be your mom, I shouldn't cuss. Because I am a Christian, but I cuss a lot, you guys. I try not to in my streams and stuff. But I do cuss. There's this one lady, I think she's on Scarab's chat sometimes. And it's like, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little or something like that. That's her name. And I'm like, yeah. Scott Baylo says, God bless your sweetheart. You are young looking though, Jack. Scott Baylo. Seriously. No one would guess you are 41. Although, because I know that you're older now, you look older. I don't know. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Sadie P. You guys, if I've missed you, I didn't mean to. I'm going to pop out the chat and see who all I've missed. Yeah, I'm so sorry I wasn't on. Okay, Korrie, and then he said, Lindsay, Poppy, Preliminal, River Swept, Robert Wood, Sadie, Scott Baylo, and Simon Says. And the lurkers. Whoever you are. But anyway, yeah, I'm so sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to miss this morning. Honestly, it was such a weird thing because I've been sleeping I slept almost all day yesterday. So I thought there's no way I'm going to miss my broadcast because of how much I had slept. Well, sure enough, I woke up at 9 a.m. Eastern, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this happened, So it was weird. Oh, but I'm just kind of filling in for Aqsa because she said she didn't want to go on this afternoon. Hi, Guardian Matrix. Nice to see you. Have I been into the Fosters? Not yet. But I'm about ready to. I start getting into the drink, whatever you want to say, right about at Scott's stream or MA's stream. That's so. I mean, I start a little bit earlier. Early my time. It's 2 or 3, I guess. So it's earlier than 4:20. Robert Wood. I was telling people you must have had a field day yesterday with it being 4:20 at 4:20. Did you go? Were you on live in the morning, 4:20 a.m. as well as in the p.m.? I don't know. Korrie says the second day in a row I'm up past 4 a.m. I never. Oh my gosh! Yeah, I need to look and see what time is it for you. Okay, so it is. Because I keep Manchester, Australia, or Sydney, and my time. Let me see. Damn it. Oh, yeah. 4:15 your time and 7:16 Manchester time. Gosh, 4 in the morning, Korrie. What the heck? Yeah, you need to get some sleep, girl. But that's the whole thing too. Is it's for me. It's the sleep thing. Is just it's either all or none. I mean, it's either. I mean, like yesterday, I slept all day. I mean, I don't know if it had to do with my grandma passing or not. I really don't think it did. I think it's just the pattern of it. It's just I was sleeping all frickin' day. All day long. I mean, I thought there was no way I'm not going to get up for that broadcast. And sure enough, I mean, I woke up at whatever time and I'm like, oh, well, shit, I missed. Oh, sorry to cuss. But I missed it. And I was like, but I don't know. I'm glad to go on for Aqsa now if she didn't want to. So. Oh my gosh, it's 12/17. You guys, that's my birthday. December 17th. I just noticed that. I like all these synchronicities. Bye, Poppie. Good to have you here for a little bit. Yeah, Korrie. Scott says Korrie's stream yesterday had admin stitches. I saw half of it. I think I fell asleep after that. But I saw her. I didn't get to see her getting her coffee from McDonald's, but I saw up until that point, and then I fell asleep. And it's so weird because it's hard for me to. I saw all of MA's stream yesterday, but I didn't get to see all of Scott's, so I have to go back and look at Scott's. But yeah, I sent MA a bunch of my the NASA patches that my grandpa has in the basement, and I really probably do need to get a close up and do a little bit more heavier research on those patches. because it's, I mean, those could be significant at some point. So, Warriors of the Rainbow information. I'll have to look at that. And then he said, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're talking to River Swept, but I didn't know. Let's see. I think I saw part of yours, Scott. Baylo. They didn't even make the right coffee. Oh, Korrie, you're freaking hilarious. They didn't even make the. They didn't even make the right coffee, idiots. Oh my God, that's funny. And of course they wouldn't, you know? Of course they wouldn't, especially when you're on air and crap like that. That's hilarious. That's so funny. I'm drinking my iced coffee, you guys. After I get off here, though, I'm going to start probably into the sauce. But right now, it's just iced coffee straight. Let's see. Raine, you have to watch it all. There's some new effects. Yeah, I will. I definitely will. I watched up into the... I didn't even see the point where you got the coffee. So... But I watched up until then. Okay, and then he says a Cree Indian woman made a prophecy about warriors of the rainbow, a group of people gathering spiritually worldwide to hear the earth and its people. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up. And then he said, thanks for posting that. Robert Wood, you and I need to get together sometime. If you ever come to Colorado, I mean, it's legal here too, you know. I don't usually do anything though. I mean, I do, but I mean, it's probably been 2 or 3 months since I've had any. And that's not because of anything other than, well, I'm thinking, well, you know, if I have to take a drug test for a job or whatever, you know. But yeah, I mean, you can stay with me if you ever want to come to Colorado. Now, are you in Washington State or Oregon, Robert Wood? Let's see. Korrie says, I was thinking today about the manifesting. I was like, big, the frappa machine isn't even working. Jinxing. People have been jinxing McDonald's. That's funny. Well, I only do it to help get folks off drugs. Well, yeah. I mean, because to me, marijuana has never really been a drug anyway. Jason, you're going to Colorado? Yes, you can come stay with me if you want. That'd be awesome, and we can compare notes on our temperatures. Because I know you're interested in those, like a lot of people aren't. So I know that you're interested in my temperature indicators. So that's cool. Yeah, that'd be great, Jason. That would be awesome. But yeah, I live in a really boring part, though, of Colorado. I mean, like almost the Nebraska line. You know? I mean, it's like corn and wheat country there. I mean, it's not the mountains or anything. Like Suso lives up in the pretty mountains. I mean, he lives about, I would say, 4.5 hours from me or something like that. But he lives in the really pretty part of the mountains in Leadville. And I oh my gosh, I cannot wait to go visit him sometime. That would be awesome. He did some kind of Mandela trivia thing the other night that was pretty cool. Jason is really interested in your temperatures. Well, yeah, because you guys, these temperature indicators work. I'm telling you, they do. I mean, because 3 days in March were like 17 degrees different on 3 different days. You can't F that up, you know what I mean? And then like this last one that this last video that I did, it was I think 9 degrees difference in the high and 5 degrees difference in the low. I mean, I'm not going to mess that up, you know? I'm not. And these temperature indicators work. I mean, you guys need to try it seriously. You know, just all you have to do is go to AccuWeather, you know, and make sure you record your temperatures. Like, well, and I kind of make a mental note as well. You know, like if it's a hot day or a cold day, I kind of make a mental note because, like, in my all the temperatures that changed, I remember what the temperature was that day, which is odd because you wouldn't think I would, but I did. And it was, I mean, I remembered specifically that it was like different temperatures those days. And then AccuWeather totally changed it. So unless they're fudging the data, which that could be a possibility, I'm not saying it isn't. But if they're not fudging the data, those are really good indicators. Really good. So well, yes, Jason, I'm recording AccuWeather's initial post and then also checking back on it later. But however, I'm also making a mental note because I have really good thermometers here at the house as well. And so it's getting hot in here. Oh, you guys are funny. But anyways, but yeah, I'm taking AccuWeather's temperatures, but I have really good thermometers here that I'm also looking at and making sure that they line up with what AccuWeather says, you know. So, and I live in a rural area. I mean, it's but the indicators are not going to shift that much. Andrew Eaton did a short live stream earlier today while cooking breakfast. He said someone was creating a shill list. Interested to see who's on it. Well, yeah. I've always had my personal opinions. I'm not going to say who they are right now about shills. Sometimes they still have a good post, you know what I mean? Even if they are a shill or even if they're not affected. And so, like, you know, I've still subscribed to some of those channels, even though I don't necessarily, it's not the first thing I look at, but, you know, I've suspected that some people are not affected that have, like, even the larger channels, I've wondered, you know, mostly because, you know, they get help from other people and stuff. And it's like, I don't want to have to get help from other people for my videos and stuff. I mean, if I can't do it myself, and I'm not saying they're all that, they're not. I mean, my videos are crap sometimes, you know, but they're me and they're what I'm saying, and I'm trying to put out the information and what I remember and whatever. I don't need help for anything, you know. I mean, I'm not saying they're the best. They're not, you know, but I don't need help with my videos and help with my information, you know. I mean, because I try to put out stuff that even if it isn't even on like the mainstream channels. Like I put out, I think my second video was on something that probably nobody has ever heard of. And that is Michael Donald Avenue in Mobile, Alabama. It changed from EAL to AEL. And the reason I know that is because I lived on that frickin' street. You know, nobody posted a video about that, you know. You know, but I posted it because I was like, you know, this is an important part of Alabama history. And no one, I mean, it used to be the reason I lived on that street and the reason I know it was the AL was because I was thinking to myself, you know, am I going to get the mail if it's mislabeled? You know, because, you know, and then right before I left Alabama, it was AEL. And I'm like, what the hell? When did that change? You know? I don't know. But anyways, I don't need help in, you know, my Mandelas. You know, I just, it kind of, that's why it, you know, I'm like, if you need help in finding stuff, then you're not affected, you know? All right. Hi, Digital Intel. Good to see you. Let's see. Let me look up Sharkay. Good to see you. Sharkay. Lone Oak Lady. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you before. Why don't you tell us some of your story? That would be really nice. Okay, Aqsa says there are lots of things people talk about. Shows like to repeat. Real effects take longer, and there aren't new ones every day. Anyone that has 1,000 things every day has been yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's why, like, the one time that I did see Unamundi's about the Buddhist temple, and I went live that day, but it wasn't because it was because I was so freaked out. I was so freaked out when I saw his video because everything was lining up. I mean, it was like the whole Syria thing, that Buddhist temple thing, and then there was some like other personal things that were. I was so freaked out. That's why I went live with it, and I did say it that I got it from Minimindi in the first part of the stream, but I was so freaked out about that, and I still am, honestly. It was just I don't know. It's crazy. Okay, let me look down and see who else is here. Hi, DJ. Good to see you. Jason, you are not a shell. I like your channel and I like what you have to put out. That's crazy. I can't believe that you're called a shell. Let's see. You guys, I hope you didn't ban Jason because he is not a shell. Exactly. They just hit the high points and tons of stuff where I feel we are hit hard by single ones. Yeah. Well, and you know, I even stopped like logging my stuff. You know, I mean, at first it was so important to me to log all my stuff and to log all my you know, my numbers that I see all the time. You know, I still have like a lot of screenshots and a lot of videos where I'm pointing out the synchronicities and crap like that. But I mean, after a certain point, it's just like, you know, this is normal. You know, so it's like I stopped recording it because it's like this is my life now. You know, it's normal. Why record this? Why keep a log when this is going to keep happening and you're going to keep seeing all this stuff, you know? And so it's like, you know, why keep recording it? I better take your wrench away. Why, Scotty? Okay, you guys, let's see. Not in Mandela, but in other stuff. Clone simulations, Google. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Well, I'm good that it's good to know that because I know, I mean, I respect you, Jason, and I respect your channel, and I know you're not a shill. I know that you're actually because you were one of the first ones that was really interested in my temperature indicators. I mean, no one's gonna care about that if they're a shill, you know. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt, you know, to keep track of all this crap all the time. So you're not going to do it unless you're seriously interested, you know? And you were interested in that from the beginning. Oh, damn it. I cannot go. Yeah. Okay, Jason, I didn't even see that until just now. You said you have a 100-page book filled with everyday changes. You stopped because it got overwhelming to record. Exactly. That's just what I was saying. I didn't see that until just now. But yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, you know, F it. You know, I mean, this is my life now. You know, why am I recording this crap all the time when it's just a normal everyday occurrence? You know? Okay, somebody blocked Lone Oak Lady. Yeah, it's probably a troll, I'm sure. Whoever did that, thank you. Um, Shills are Freemasons. Robert says, well, I'm sure a lot of them are. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. This is kind of weird and random. Look at your birth certificate. Tell me whether or not you have all capital letters or not. Because apparently that's something important. Mine is not in all capital letters. So that's actually a good thing. I don't want to scare anybody because I don't really know the significance of all this, but look at your birth certificate and see if it's all capital letters or not. Just, you know. Let's see. Aqsa says, I'm at the point where I don't care about changes. Things at home are so, yeah. Well, yeah. It can get overwhelming. Yeah. Brian McFarlane money bags cover 90%. Jason says, yeah. Well, see, that's the whole thing. That's why I don't post a lot of stuff. I try to post stuff that, you know, well, like the whole Michael Donald Avenue thing. Nobody knows. Nobody even knows or cares about that unless you're from Alabama, you know. But it needs to be all upper Y, though, Robert Wood. Mine isn't. Most people's birth certificates are all uppercase, but there's a reason for that, according to some people. Okay, so Jason, you're saying your name and date may have changed on your birth certificate? Yeah. I mean, that's why everybody needs to look. You need to look at your birth certificate, not even just for the old all caps thing. You need to look and see if the hospital or the place where you were born has changed. You know, or the date of your birth or your name even. Some people's names have changed, like even the spellings. Like, you know, I know someone who their name was Jayne and their middle name, and then all of a sudden it changed to Jane, just like the regular Jane. And so you don't have a birth certificate, Aqsa? I'm surprised. Were you able to get citizenship in the UK or anything like that without your birth certificate? Or, well, Yeah, Scott Baylo, you said yours was stolen from the mail because, yeah, people were saying how all their stuff's lost. Like Scott Harrison's stuff is lost too. That's weird. Oh my God, you guys. Sharkey, I'm adopted. My birth certificate does not have that info. They didn't give them out to mixed race children. Oh my God, how racist. That is so racist, Aqsa. That is weird. Well, at least you have your passport, I guess. I mean, a passport can cover up a lot of things for sure. Because even in the United States, like if you have a passport, you don't have to show your social security number or your birth certificate as long as. And I let mine expire, which I didn't want to do. But I didn't have the money to. Hi, Tup. How are you? Okay. What? Robert Wood, you says your dad was born in Idaho, but now he was born in Utah? Oh my God. See, that's why I told you guys you have to look at your birth certificate because it could have changed. Jason says he watched his social security card morph right in front of his eyes. Oh my God. That would be weird and scary. You guys, you need to look at your birth certificate or your passport for changes. Seriously. Mine has not changed, but I did notice because we were talking about the all caps, not caps thing, that I was almost positive that mine was not in all caps and it wasn't. And when I look at it, it's not. And there's some significance to that. So, like, you guys need to look and see also. See, first, check to see if anything has changed, for one, and then see if it's all caps or not. Because even people's places of birth, their names have changed, and they're even in some cases their birthday. I mean, that's effed up. That's effed up. You know? It's craziness. Hi, Sadie. Yeah, I just, I don't know, you guys. I mean, how can people's places of birth, they're, let's see, Jason says you don't want to look at your birth certificate. Oh, well, it scrolled up. I didn't see it. Yes. And then he said, you are exactly right. And that's what I was getting at, but I didn't want to say it. All capitals mean that you are property of a corporation. Deeds and contracts have all capitals. See, mine doesn't have all capitals. So that means they can't buy and sell me. They can't pick me up. And, I'm going to have to carry around my birth certificate, I guess, for all time now to prove it, whatever. But I'm just saying, what sucks is I know my youngest son has all capitals. I remember, but I think my older son might have a mix. And so I don't have his birth certificate to look at, but I'm just going on memory that I think my oldest one didn't have all capitals, but I know my youngest one did, and that sucks. Jeez. I mean, yes, that's exactly what I was getting at. And then he said, all capitals mean you are property of the United States government if your birth certificate. And I mean, I don't want to scare anybody, and that's I was trying to avoid saying that, but since she or he, I think, and then he said, are you female or male? I'm not sure. But I thought you were maybe, but anyways, all capitals mean you're property of a corporation. And thank God, because I was, when somebody said that in a stream, I was like, "Oh my god, I think mine is not all caps, but I had to go look." And I looked, and sure enough, it wasn't. But but I know that my son and my husband have all caps on theirs. So Sharkay, you're all caps. That sucks. Sorry. And Lynn Miguel says she's all caps. Yeah, see? I mean, I almost hesitated to bring this up, you guys. I really did. But it does. Look it up online, too. It makes a freaking difference. It does. All caps means you're a slave. Yeah. Yep. And see, I guess there's some background. Like I have some weird Freemason, which I don't know anybody in my family who's a Freemason. So why would mine not be in all caps? I have no idea. But I do know that like my mom has, and I think it's probably on my dad's side, but my mom has ancestry.com. That is one of the rumors about this government. Each country is actually a corporation. Each government are the people running it. Yeah, exactly. But anyways, on Ancestry, and I doubted what this even said about my dad's background, is that it goes to like a king of England. And I guess maybe that's why I don't have all caps, because I have some weird good bloodline or something. I don't know. But it bothers me that, I have to look at my sons, and I haven't seen. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive my youngest son, I have two, so I guess just say younger rather than youngest, but his is all caps, but I think my older one might be not all caps, so I don't know. Weird. Yeah, CDP, a lot of times it'll do that. It'll be the last name will be in all caps, but the first name not. But I think that if it's all caps in the last name, that you're effed. I mean, okay, Jason says, I was looking through my old newspaper clippings for residue and found a photo of my grandpa and two of his brothers. They were on the front page of the newspaper. That's cool, though. Joner, remember to be nice to CERN going forward, or else they might accidentally change your birth date. Oh, Joner, that's a good one. Well, a lot of ME affected people are negative blood type. I'm not, but honestly, I think everybody needs to recheck their blood type, because some blood types people have said have changed, just like the birth certificate. And so, like, I know, well, see, my mom told me I was O positive for years. And then, so I was O positive. My ex-husband was O positive. So I told him, I said, well, there's no way we can have anything other than an O positive baby. Well, sure enough, here comes an A positive baby. But it turns out I was A positive at the time, and my mom just either told me wrong or maybe it changed. I don't know. And maybe it's changed again. So you guys need to check your blood types too. See, all contracts are null and void unless an adult you agree to them. Yeah, but see, I mean, that was what was so freaky, is that I told my ex-husband, I was like, well, we can only, I hadn't cheated on him or anything like that. But it was so funny, because I told him, yeah, our baby has to be O positive because we're both O positive. And here he comes A positive. Well, it turns out I was A positive. That was just, it was hilarious. Because I was like, when they told me his blood type, I'm like, that can't be possible. And they were like, wow, you're A positive. I'm like, I am? So, so it's crazy. I don't know. Well, you guys, Scott's going to come on in 10 minutes. Oh, hi, White Rabbit. You're looking for your birth certificate. Oh, White Rabbit, I got to tell you something. I don't know if you saw my video on it, but the other day when we were both on Rena and Tomacon's broadcast, and she was talking about manifesting and stuff like that, and I said something like, well, I said to myself, well, I really like White Rabbit, but I didn't say white specifically. I said, you know, if this is real and we can manifest stuff, I'll just see rabbits, you know. And there was like, you know, Tim, whatever his name is, broadcast on his TV show Last Man Standing or whatever. And I thought, well, I'm surely not going to see a rabbit, you know. Well, what do you know? The next commercial was Blue Bunny. Freaked me out. I was like, I cannot believe this. You know, how is that even possible? You know, freaked me out. Oh, Scott's not on for another hour. That's true. Okay, well, I got 26 on, so I'll keep going. Yes, and then he said, you've heard that you're under Admiralty law, which is the law of waterways and transportation. That's how they get by with a lot of the illegalities. Yes. I will definitely email you, Jason, on the temperature changes because I want to compare notes for sure. Yes. Yeah, but you guys look at your birth certificates for sure. See, I mean, not only for the all caps thing, but also just for like the hospital and the place that you remember, you know. Hi, Robert Peter. I hope you're affected. Tell me what your effects are. Four rabbits. Oh, Aqsa. Oh my goodness. I'll pray for you. That's a horrible feeling, Aqsa. White Rabbit, may I ask a question about bunnies? Me for me. Me for me. Brandon, your mom's affected? Yeah, I don't have that many people in my life that are affected. Oh, Aqsa, that's so. I'm feeling for you, especially when you have kids like that. It's just. I don't like that. I'll definitely be praying for you, Aqsa. I'm thinking about you. Too many to list. What temple are you talking about, Robert Peter? Oh, Lone Neck Lady was your mom, Brandon? Oh, I can unblock her. Let me go. I'll go to my channel and unblock her. Hang on a second. Yeah, you guys definitely look at your birth certificates. But I mean, not only for the all caps thing, like I said, but just for the dates and the names and the place where you were. Oh, okay. Aqsa, you unblocked her. Okay, good. I won't worry about it then. Thank you. Yeah, that's why I gave my son's not in the chat today, but I gave my son a wrench. And if you guys ever see a wrench that you don't recognize, that's my son. And I gave him a wrench just so he wouldn't be blocked. So, because he was on a few days ago. And, you know, of course, you guys aren't going to recognize him because he's not normally in it, but I didn't want him to be blocked either. So I gave him a wrench. Okay, another thing is that we are still under British rule. The BAR exam stands for British Accreditation Regency. I didn't know that. Good night, Digital Intel. Have a great evening. I'm glad you were part of the stream. Thank you. Hi, Landon. I didn't know you were here either. Good to see you. I love Landon Pets. You guys need to check out his channel. Yeah, it's a really, really great channel. But yeah, I don't know. I just things are odd lately. I mean, if you have to check your darn birth certificate and it's changed, you know, I mean, it's what kind of high strangeness is that, you know? It's just craziness. Okay, so does anybody want to call in? If anybody wants to call in, let me know. Landon, do you want to call in? I haven't talked to you on a live stream yet. That would be kind of cool. I'm going to go to my Gmail now just to... If anybody wants to call in, it is Raine on the Plains, all one word, at gmail.com. And I will send you a link. And that's if I know you're affected, which most people in this stream are, obviously, hopefully. Let's see, and that is why any politician who is a lawyer is not supposed to be in office. If you have a foreign title, you cannot hold the office. Gives you a British title when you pass it. That's interesting. Yeah, if anybody wants to come in, you can just email me at rainontheplains, all one word, at gmail.com, and I can send you a link. I don't know who Drake Bailey and Thomas Williams are, and then he said, Oh, Landon, you want to come in? That'd be great. Robert Wood? Okay. Let me get to my email here. Yeah, because you've got an hour before Scott comes on. So my computer is really slow. Okay, Landon, are you on a Okay, so I'm going to send both Landon and Robert Wood an invite. Just hang on a second. Dang it. Hang on a second. I need to do something real quick. All right. Sorry, guys. This is taking me a minute. Trying to get this through. Hang on a second. Okay, Robert, you should be getting something, and then Landon, you're going to get something in just a second. Okay, both of you guys should have links to join me if you want to. Front paws, not an ME for everyone. I'll have to go back and look at that.
Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, who's there? Who's there? Is it Landon or Robert?
That's Robert.
Hi, Robert. How you doing?
Good. I'm good. I'm fantastic. I'm in.
Cool. You might want to. I think you might want to put a mute on your stuff that you got there, though, so it doesn't bleed through.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing?
What do I mute?
Well, I'm just saying you might want to mute what you've got on, just so that it doesn't bleed through the sound. You know, otherwise it'll have like an echo effect.
Sure.
So tell me, Robert, did you do anything special yesterday? Because it was 420. Oh, darn, I can't hear you very well now. Did you do anything special yesterday?
I'm trying to fix this.
Oh, I see you. That's good. I can see you're coming through. That's good. And I see Landon is on as well. Landon, just feel free to jump in if you want to.
All right. What's up? I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's fine. I can see that you're on, so that's great.
Oh, what's up? What's up?
Oh my goodness, I don't know whose noise that was, but Is that you? I don't know if that's Landon or Robert, but you guys, one of you needs to turn whatever that noise is down.
So I'm testing my voice. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Robert. Yeah, I can hear. There's somebody though that's having. I don't know if it's Landon or you, Robert.
Yeah.
That has. Okay, now I don't hear it, so it's good. Okay, good. Whoever it was, it's turned down now. That's good.
Yeah, I think it was Rob, but it went away.
So tell me what you guys are up to and what you've been seeing lately and how you've been feeling about everything going on and all that. What, you know, whatever. Tell me what you guys have been experiencing.
All right. You want to go first, or I'll take it?
Go ahead, Landon.
Okay. Me, I've just been working. It's the first time in months I've never went this long without a job.
Oh, no, let Landon go first, man. You rock on, dude.
And can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Landon.
Okay. So I've never went as long as I have without a job. And I found this nice little job right down the street, and so it's actually been going well. When I first got there, immediately, like the first day, I started getting some just really weird vibes and spiritual attacks and stuff, and so it's been kind of crazy, but asking for prayer and all that, it was so desperately needed. It all just kind of faded away, all the bad stuff. It was really weird, and I struggled to put it into words in the last video that I made. But I was just going through some crazy things. I mean, because I never get out the house, and I don't really leave much. I spend a lot of time on YouTube and just playing with the dog. And as soon as I was, even though it was just a few miles from my place, as soon as I was going down the street, it seems like I don't even want to call them NPCs anymore. There's people in the world that seem to know something about what's going on, but like they're knowledgeable of, I don't know, it's something spiritual. It's really hard to put into words, but it just seemed like those with some evil practices or something, and as soon as I prayed against it and asked for prayer, it's like it took all the energy away from it. So, but yeah, I just been working and trying to keep up with everybody on YouTube, because a lot of my time is devoted to that now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard to keep up with all the streams and everything, but I mean, Brennan, something you said intrigued me, because the thing is that, like, I feel like you were saying how you don't think they're NPCs, but you know, some people, it's weird, because like you'll interact with somebody and they'll say something that you've been thinking about, or like, you know, like I know a few things have happened to me where like someone has said, well, put it in the microwave for 1 minute and 11 seconds. Why would somebody say that?
Right. Well,
why wouldn't they say 1 minute or 2 minutes or 1 minute and a half? Why would they say 1 minute and 11? You know?
And see, but the thing is here, you have to differentiate. The NPCs would probably be those that are, they're obviously, by definition, it's those that are taking the download, right? It's people like you walk up to them, you try to wake them up, and they just don't get it. What I'm talking about is that there are others around them that seem to have a means of like control. Because certain people will walk up to me and say certain things. Like when I was going through all these little spiritual attacks, it just a few days ago, I'd already recognized it, because it was basically the same stuff that I've made videos about, that I went through a few years back. It was the same script, same playlist. Like I knew what was gonna happen next, and so like I leave early in the morning, like 4:30 in the morning, and I took the dog out to get him ready for me to leave, and there was something in the woods, and like it was something big. Usually he chases possums and birds. Ooh, what is that? he chases possums and birds and squirrels and stuff, and even he was worried. Like, he wasn't barking, he was just looking at whatever that thing was moving around. And then I get to work, and some of the same people that were acting just strangely towards me. First thing the guy says is, "Oh, you live this morning?" And it was the way that he said it. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but
I know what you mean. It's like just like a creepy feeling comes over you.
Right. And whenever this thing was there, it wasn't like, oh, I just hear something in the woods and it's dark outside. Like, there was this fear. There was this a lot of times when you hear stories of like Sasquatch or stuff like that, people will talk about a feeling that comes over them that it just like almost devastates them. It's not necessarily that they know that they're in danger, but there seems to be a means of control where, and that's kind of the point that I was making in the very last video. That's really, really, really hard to put into words and to get people to understand some of the things that God's revealing to me. But I really think there are people in this world that can kind of project a feeling onto someone else. They can kind of manipulate emotions. If you study that left-hand path thing that so many people that study the Baphomet and all that look into, that's what it's about. It's about control, the manipulation of other people, which would include emotions. And when I went through that thing the other morning, it was just like this horrific feeling, and I couldn't even see what it was, you know. And immediately I prayed, it stopped. It seemed to just go away, and I went to work, and that was the first thing that person said. But there were other things that led up to that before that went on, where I already knew that particular individual was involved in, and I don't want to necessarily call it witchcraft, but I know that they were doing things that just aren't supposed to be possible. And
right.
And so, and a lot of times, like in people that talk about gang stalking, they believe that people can read their minds. And what it is I'm of the firm belief that I don't know how it's being done. I know that we're taught that these things are impossible, but I'm almost certain and positive that they're able to project a thought onto someone, and then they'll repeat it, and then that person will think that they're reading their mind. It's the opposite. They're not reading their mind. They're actually able to somehow, you know, throw that into their thought process, and then they think they're trying to make them paranoid. I don't really know what the reason is for it, but I've experienced it so much, and the way that they come up to you and say it like they're almost laughing in your face whenever they do it. I've just seen it way too much, and so like the NPCs are like people around us that just don't get it. They don't see it. They're not under attack for any reason, but there seems to be another group of people that they're just able to do certain things that are, I don't know, it's just weird. But
I know exactly.
Like I said, I went through this. Like, you do what?
I was just saying, I know exactly what you're saying, and I've experienced exactly the same thing. So, Robert Wood, have you experienced that as well? Are you there, Robert?
Yeah, I'm here.
Have you experienced that as well? What Landon was talking about, how when people just kind of are like taunting you, or like, you know, like maybe playing off like, you know, what your thoughts are or stuff like that. Have you experienced that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
No. Well, I got I'm having a hard time because I have a feedback. I don't know if you guys can hear me really clear, so I'm just gonna talk over my own feedback.
Yeah, you good now, Bubba?
Yeah, dude. No, I got no problems. My ass gets beat up at night when I'm sleeping, and so that's how I wake up with bruises and stuff. But other than that, all the Freemasons around the area, they fucking take care of me. They walk the areas, man. These dudes walk around packing with shit, and they're like, give me signals, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? No, they don't bother me, man. These people are nice. Most of them are veterans. But they're veterans in the Freemasonry, but they don't bother me. A lot of people that have this Mandela effect, they're just being chased down by the Freemasons. Because if you shake the hornet's nest and piss them off, they're going to fucking come after you. Now, I piss off a lot of them that I like, but the locals like me great. So when it comes to night attacks, I get night attacks. It feels like every day when I wake up, I fell out of a fucking sky and went BAM! I don't know if you guys have that experience, but that's how I wake up in the morning.
Well, I never used to think that I was abducted at all, but I had a weird dream one time, and then I also kept waking up with like weird markings on my back, and I had a dream where I was like in a hospital room and they were giving me medicine like right in the back area where my marks were. And I never really thought that I was ever abducted before until then. And then I'm thinking it's a possibility now. I'm not saying it's a for sure, but I never thought that before. But all of a sudden, I have all these weird markings on my back, and I have these dreams of people like giving me medicine and into my back, and so it's kind of strange. I don't know. I mean, Landon, have you had anything like that or not?
I've had some weird dreams, but well, I
totally.
In the very last video I made,
I got a scar right here. I put it on my show. Hell, I got a bite mark.
You got a bite mark?
You can see my foot. I got a bite mark. This is a scar now. I think it's about 2.5 weeks old, I guess. Yeah, those dudes bit me, or whatever it was, bit me.
That is so weird. Yeah. I don't know. Landon, have you had any physical manifestations of anything, or just a dream?
No, they've been physical. And it seems like it's like something like weekends, whatever that veil is, and I start to be able to see them, but they can't get through. They keep trying. They're trying so hard, and that's what makes it visible for me to see them, because they're trying to break through when they think that they can. But as they reach out to touch me, they disappear again. And I've had marks on my body. The reason in the very last video I was talking about a specific person, because this dude showed up in the middle of nowhere. I mean, imagine like you're walking through the middle of a desert somewhere, and then all of a sudden they pop up and they're just observing you. That's it. And then they kept trying to hide their identity. They knew that I could see them, but they were trying to hide their identity. And this person always bragged how he would get this stuff that causes cancer all over his body. And then the next thing I know, his family, certain members of his family has cancer. Now, the bad part about that video that I didn't explain as good as I could was that I had been hanging around other people that had certain marks on their body. This is the extent of the like physical manifestations towards me. I've never had like cuts or bruises or anything like that, but someone would have like a mark on their body and it would disappear off of where it was at on them, and then I would have it a few days later and they're still there, like they haven't gone away, which I really think that somehow some people are able to pass some things off on the others. Like I don't get it, and I don't know how it works, but on 2 or 3 separate occasions somebody's had a mark on their body and then it disappeared from them, and now I have it. And it's just really, really strange. Like, and there was so much more going on around all that, but it's like they're able to get rid of stuff that they don't want. I don't know.
But that's interesting to me, because you seem the type of person that is an empath, and so you're going to take on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And now, Robert, you said that you have marks on your body as well.
Give me a couple seconds. Getting caught up. Yeah, I got. Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a scar. I got strange scars and everything. Yeah.
See, I've had scars that have disappeared.
Right there. Out on my side. Yeah.
That looks like you got stabbed.
I got a fucking scar right here.
Yeah,
I got Stigmata. They gave me the Stigmata package. Do you guys get Stigmata package?
I don't get that. The only thing that I really have that's strange for me is that I've had a scar that I had from like when I was 3 years old, and on my forearm, on my left forearm, but it's totally gone now. And also, but I do get like marks on my back that I can't explain. I mean, there's no reason for me to have a mark on my back like that. And I keep having dreams about like people giving me medicine right there as well. And so it's, you know, I've never thought ever in my life that I was abducted or anything like that, but I'm starting to wonder now, you know, because of those marks.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It's craziness.
Well, you know, you might not be abducted, but you got to remember what I've discovered in my notes is that we come from You're like a slinky. You're like a slinky from like your entire life, and so you're getting scars that you might have had in another life, another dimension. You're coming from different dimensions. You might not remember getting that scar. But you're showing up here now. You're having these new. It's in my notes. Everybody's got new scars, strange spots, different stories. You had a conversation with your son you never had before, but they remember, but you don't. You're just catching up to your own self. It's just we're gonna have different things. I'm like, I had a Turk's head on my ankle for 23 years. It was so scarred. It looked like I had a damn on my ankle. It was on my ankle for 23 years. There is no scars. It's gone. I have one blemish. That's it. So, and everybody knew I had this Turk's head for 23 years. I got in the Navy, and I cut it off when I woke up. And my son goes, "Dad, your scars are gone." I said, "Yeah, I know." That's freaky.
Yeah,
so I got new ones showing up.
Yeah, especially when you've had them for that long, you know. I mean, that's how I was. I was like, when I discovered that scar on my left arm was gone, I was like, what the heck? I mean, it's just, you don't know how to process that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Landon.
I've got a really deep scar on my shoulder that when I got in a motorcycle wreck, it was
been there, done that. I've been there. I had 23 years scars. My ankle looked like I had it was a Turk's head on there. It looked like I had it was disgusting. And I kept it on and I cut it off and the scars are all gone. And so I got new scars showing up and new aches and pains showing up from different parts of my body, phantom pains. And I'm not being abducted. I don't know. I'm just waking up with the pains. It's just like your body's catching up to you in other dimensions. We're shifting. We're becoming who we are.
Yeah, because the scars.
So apparently you have yourself marks on your back from some dimension where you got hit on the back. You just can't remember what's from. It's really cool.
Yeah, I go back and forth on some days I'm really scared about everything that's happening. I mean, I honestly am like quaking in fear. And then other days I'm excited because, you know, I feel like, I don't know, there's something new or I'm part of something big, you know, or we all are, you know. And then other days I'm like, I don't really know what to feel. You know?
So roll with it, you know, just roll with it.
Yeah.
Just roll with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
it's crazy.
Everything is crazy now. That's the thing. It's just like, you know, how do we? I don't know. How do we?
Just treat it like a theme park. I'm just treating it like a theme park. Now it's just a game.
Well, that's the whole thing too. Is that I don't know how you feel, Brandon, or how you feel, Robert, but I mean, for me, it's like I'm pretty much convinced now that it is some kind of game and that it is like some kind of simulation. And that and then one of my theories too, and I hate to scare people with it, and but is that we did die already, and that we're just in a holding pattern or whatever. And because the reason I say that, I wouldn't say that and I wouldn't believe that except for all my changes started happening when I tried to commit suicide when I was 13. That's when my changes started happening. And so if it weren't for that, if I didn't correlate it with that, I wouldn't think the whole death thing. But because of that, and I also think I might have died like 2 or 3 other times in between as well. I mean, now how can, like, people will say, well, how can you reconcile that as a Christian? Well, I can, and it doesn't negate my belief in God or Jesus at all. In fact, it makes my faith stronger,
Yeah, you were just successful. You managed to do it.
Yeah. And so it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't want people to like necessarily even agree with me. It's just based on my experience. This is what I think has happened, is that, there's like a simulation on top of that for some reason. Like somehow my consciousness got, transferred into this computer program or whatever. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, Landon, I know you're a Christian, so I mean, you might have a different perspective on things. But what are your theories on the Mandela effect, Landon?
I'm not exactly sure that I completely disagree with you, because I find it odd, like some of the effects that you noticed before I was born, yet I have a memory. Like I remember seeing those things before they were affected, such as the McDonald's thing, So it's like, how is that possible? Unless like time is completely relative to the observer. And I've almost died on several occasions, and then I woke up and things changed. So death may not be what we're taught it is, just like everything else. Like I don't, I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I think that
you died on a motorcycle, dude. Didn't you die on a motorcycle?
Yeah, and then an overdose, and then there was a few other times, and then I had real vivid dreams of car accidents and things like that. Things that didn't happen to me, yet I was.
But what if they did?
Right. Yeah, because waking up from a dream like that, remembering it in such detail, like at the point of impact, you know what I mean? Like it was, just strange, just really strange. So it's possible,
I guess the thing is, I don't. It's so scary to think that we're already dead, but at the same time, it's like if we are already dead, it's like there's really nothing to fear now.
Well, we're not, though. That would be the thing from my Christian perspective. Like, maybe we're more eternal than we're ever taught. And
right,
there are those that are walking around us that are like the Walking Dead.
I don't fear nothing.
That, you know what I mean? And they seem to, I don't want to call it envy, but I've just experienced so much hate for no reason at all. I'm talking about, walking into a room and people disliking me and not getting the same fair opportunities. Think of like Regato Bonner, like some of the stuff that he talks about. Just you not being able to make your own way in life. Now I've made a lot of mistakes in life because I spent so much time in depression and drug use, but there were things that led up to that where everything was just crumbling and I couldn't get a break with anything. And it just when I went through that whole like quote unquote gang stalking experience, and it's still going on, but the tactics have changed. It shows me that we're surrounded by other people that they just seem that there's so much anger, but it has to be covered up so that it's not straight out hate, because then they would identify themselves.
But why do they hate us? And Robert Wood, do you feel that too? Like there's just like an overwhelming hatred from some people towards us. Do you feel that as well? Robert.
I think he's catching up. I don't know.
Oh. But anyway, I feel that too, Landon. I mean, I'm just, I mean, it's like, I don't
Yeah.
think you and I or Robert or any of us deserve the hatred that we feel from certain people. And so why is it that they hate the affected like us? I don't
Right.
understand it.
We must have something that they don't. I can only assume that, that there's something that we have that we don't even know that we have because it's been covered up. I think in probably in the days of Noah at the time before Jesus tore the veil, that there was a lot more knowledge, and good and bad. I mean, the bad things could probably reach out and touch us. I've often pondered on that. What does it mean when he tore the veil? Like, I really think that something was split into two, and all those things that didn't belong here were placed into another realm, another world. Probably looks just like ours, but there's a veil in between it, and they're itching to get through. So they try and trick us into either giving up something, such as this hidden power that we don't know that we have, or trick us into sin. To willfully um, doing things that we're not. We don't have any business doing, and for whatever reason that weakens the mortar, so to speak. Um, because we have, we're it's one of those things like whenever you're born with something, you can't really quite appreciate it as much as working for it. Well, if you've never even been taught that you have this thing, whatever it is, um, you know what I mean? Like we don't realize how powerful we are. Like, okay, I'll tell you for instance, just the power of prayer. Like the other day when there was something in the wood, that thing was big, whatever it was. But when I first started my channel, I was dying to make a video, and then this little boy went missing, and and I did a short little clip in the beginning of one of my videos with the helicopter, just saying, I prayed about it, and they found him. But the weird thing was, when I finally got around to going to look for that little boy, because it took me a while to get back to where I live at to go help find him. I was driving out to where he went missing at, and I recognized one of the houses that I worked on for that carpenter that I said was involved in my gang stalking experience, and there's a lot of demonic stuff around these people. One of these houses was owned by one of the rich family that we worked for, and they were absolutely involved in it. I mean, I would almost say that like pure witchcraft. Um, and
Oh
and
man.
when I saw that woman's house, I was like, please God. I mean, immediately I just went into praying like hard for this little kid, because I was worried that if something like Hansel and Gretel, whatever you want to call it, like I just knew that something was wrong when I realized how close to this person's house he went missing. And I made a loop and went to turn around. And as I was turning around and going to park, and something also told me that my dog would find him. Something I just knew, because Chop responds to things that just aren't there, that I can't see. So so I go to park to get out to start searching for the little boy, and immediately the helicopter starts landing. I mean, it was just like, just as quick as I was done praying, I was like, okay, I'm gonna park right here. I pull in, and I could hear the helicopter getting louder and louder and louder, and then it was landing maybe about 200 yards from me, and they were rushing out to get him, and I was like, wow. And I dare to say that maybe just me showing up, not that I'm somebody important or anything like that. It's not about me. It's about, the Father. But if the whole greater is He that is in me thing, if Jesus is truly inside of me, and there was something going on, some sort of witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, something beyond my understanding, could I have possibly broken that by just being there,
Yes.
praying for him, and then all of that just shattered whatever was about to happen?
I
Because
think, Landon, I absolutely believe that you were a part of that and that you were an instrumental part in that little boy being found. Totally. I mean, honestly, I totally 100%, a million percent believe that.
Right, because he just disappeared in his backyard is like right next to woods. There's a hunting camp around there, which could be dangerous if somebody picked him up, but it wasn't a kidnapping scenario yet. And something, he just vanished from his backyard, And then, I don't know the whole story, so I can't say that, but he probably just wandered off, and something changed where immediately he was found as I got there. So it's not about me, but I'm saying
But
that's
you
just
were, I believe you were
example.
instrumental in that, though. I honestly
Right.
do. I do.
I, I I definitely think that there's some sort of power like that we hold within that we don't even realize. Like I gave another example, if like you were walking in the middle of a city, you saw a Girl Scout and stopped her, and then you asked her to buy some cookies, and because you did that, it stopped her from getting hit by a truck, because she was about to wander off into traffic, something like
Yeah.
that. Like you may never know,
Right.
but I really think there's something that we hold that keeps that whatever that evil is from doing,
Mm.
that quote about evil prevails when good men fail to act. Well, we look at that and we hear it in movies in Hollywood, and we think that we got to be, like a street soldier, and we got to, jump through hoops and have a great script, but we could be doing it all the time and we don't even know it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
just
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
because I don't know. I'm a nice person. I don't know why I would receive all that hatred, and that's, you know what I mean. So that's why how I come up with that thought.
Well,
Because
that's what I mean. I mean, because I don't think that, you or I or Robert I think all three of us are nice people. Why would we deserve such hatred? Because I've been on the receiving end of it as well. And Robert, I'm sure, have you been on the receiving end of like just people just hating you for no reason? Are you there, Robert? Maybe he went to the bathroom. but
I see him
but
shaking his head, but I think he's just got a lag. I think
Yeah,
he's
I'm
got a
sorry, I got you
lag.
guys on delay. Believe it or not, I'm hearing you guys talk multiple times over top of each other.
Oh, we can't hear you.
But my brain is like able to pick up certain bits of you guys talking about. But yeah, you know, I'm an asshole, but other than that, I mean, I'm liked, I guess, right? I'm here.
but you're not a bad person, and
No,
there would be no reason for people to hate you, right?
no,
I mean,
no. I
I
mean, I was
mean,
on the service. I did a 10-year stretch. I raised kids. I took a vow of chastity. No,
I just don't understand why all of us in the ME community seem to attract like such hatred from individuals. I mean, and just like it's almost like they can't stand us, and it has to be almost something spiritual or something,
Uh,
um, you know.
to go a little deeper into
well, they're
that,
possessed.
I think there's only two possibilities. One, it's just demonic
Well,
possession.
yeah, you guys are
Again,
like light bulbs. You're like light bulbs. Your vibration is higher. Your vibration's way higher than these people. I walk around and have a conversation, and they're like, "Slow down when you talk." I'm like, "I'm talking slow. You're the one talking slow. I'm talking slow. I mean, I don't know. Our vibration's way off the charts here. So we're bringing in all the positive energy from wherever we came from back to Sagittarius. So now we're here in freaking 50-50 land because we have matter. When you have a big bang in science, let's call it the script, right? You have a big bang in science. The scientists say that life can't exist because um, there is more matter than antimatter. You have to have a 50% antimatter to matter. 50% antimatter is dark matter. It's bad. So we're in a place that was just created or being created where you've got an overwhelming amount of bad here. It's a lot of black dark matter. We're in dark matter. So we're like positive matter into dark matter. We flipped. Red light on top now. Mirror on the wall switched up. So everything's opposite.
right.
Here we are, a good bunch of people hanging out in a dirty place. That's it. So we're bringing in positive vibes, right? That's it. I mean, all you guys in there making jokes, having a great time. Everyone's being friendly, everyone's being really cool with each other. I mean, yeah, I call motherfuckers out all the time, but I have fun with it. They know it. Lance is a little twerp, little redneck.
Well, when you say the whole upside down thing, I mean, there's Bible verses that say that Satan turns everything upside down. But what was weird is that yesterday Aqsa told me about the banana trees are going the bananas are growing upwards now instead of down, and they die right after they fruit. I mean, it's just everything's just wrong. You
Yeah, it is
know?
weird.
I
I had a
mean,
banana tree in my backyard when I was a kid
Yeah.
in New Orleans. I remember it. Like they didn't grow like that.
yeah. I mean, so they're going upwards now, and then they die after they fruit, and then they I guess she was saying, which I didn't know, to be honest, but I trust what she said, is that it used to take 10 years for them to grow to maturity, but then they would fruit out like every year after that.
Yeah,
Well
yeah,
now,
every year.
well
No, it's
now,
huge. Yeah.
yeah, but now I guess it's like they grow upwards and it's 9 months and then they die right after they fruit. I mean, that's
Hmm.
weird. I mean,
That is
I
weird.
mean, this whole world is just like you just learn something new every freaking day. You
Hmm.
know?
That is wild.
Amazing.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just I mean, I don't know what else. It's like I almost cannot be surprised by anything now.
We're
You
upside
know?
down, man. Everything's upside down.
Yeah.
Well, look at
Yeah.
Nelson. I look at him all the time and say, "You've changed, man."
Everything has changed. I mean, everything. I mean, it's just
Well, it's the local
yeah.
brain. Remember the local brain. Now, remember the lizard brain is much larger. I went to school for archaeology and anthropology. I went to college, so the
And now we have two
eye of
amygdalas.
Horus is larger. The lizard brain. This thing, this thing used to be real small. Look at the size of this guy, man. This guy's huge. This thing, yeah, we literally have two brains. You've got the larger, the whole lizard brain, which they talk about. It's called the lizard brain. That's the proper slang for it. The eye of Horus, right there it is, same size as your eye. I mean, right on the damn pyramids, right? You got the freaking, you got the pine cone. You've got the whole. Where you at? Here we go. Hold on. Well, we got pineal gland right there. Pineal gland. It's huge. And people that are on narcotics and people that are on these pills and all these prescription medicines, this thing's glazed over like a crystal. It's nasty. So my job is to try to get everyone to get this damn thing cleaned off. And once it's cleaned off, then you guys can think right and you get that third eye. You guys get they call it the eye of God, right? Remember that painting? The painting with God reaching out, reaching man's
Yeah,
finger? He's coming out of the brain. It's a brain.
yeah.
So it's just telling you you are the pineal. This is how you talk to God. Without this thing clean, you're gonna have a hard time. So I don't know how to explain this, but other than that, so those of us that are cleaning up, we're able to have a little bit more perception. Basically, your antenna's cleaner. So your maker's going, hey, dude, you need to take the right step over here. Hey, dude, you need to make a step over here. You're kind of getting the old transmissions in from your creator, whoever your creator is. I like Odin, but you guys have your God. Same thing, right? I have the All Father. You guys have the Father. I don't know what you guys call it. But
I
yeah,
find being around running water kind of amplifies it as well. There's something about God communicating with me very clearly when I'm around. It could be the shower or like a river, but there's something
yeah,
about like
There,
moving water that.
there is something about water in this world that we're in for sure. People have said that, and water behaves differently, and then also just like the intention with like the whole rice experiments and that Japanese guy with the snow, the water crystals and all that.
Right.
There's something to that, and also, and really, what I find interesting about that water experiment, the rice experiment, is that they have like where you speak good, like I love you, and I hate you, and then just ignore the other one. I find a lot of times when people have done it, where the one that is ignored is actually worse than the one that gets, because you get attention through the hate. Even though
Right.
it is hate, you get attention. But if somebody is just flat out ignoring you, it's almost even worse,
yeah,
you know?
And that seems to be the situation that's been created around me now.
yeah.
When I was going through all that demonic stuff that I've made so many videos about, and whatever was supposed to happen didn't, and it didn't work. it seems that my environment is like push me off to the side. And thank God I have the outlet of YouTube. I mean, that's why I started making videos, you know, and I have people to talk to. But honestly, my physical environment, besides the job that I finally got after not working for almost a full year, um, it's like at every level, it's just like to be pushed off to the side, which it, there's a lot of negativity out there, like with people watching the news and stuff like that. So sometimes I'll just go into my room because I don't want to hear it. But and it just seems that at every level, like it, it's like this conscious, and I'm not saying it's directly from the people that are doing it. I don't think that they're aware that they're doing it, but I'm just saying that my environment itself seems to be trying its hardest to make me feel ignored. And there's like, you know, it goes back to that other realm, whatever those influences that we can't see that make people just kind of do that, you know. It's not working, but
Well, yeah, just from my own perspective, and I know Robert, you were going to say something too, but let me just say something real quick before I ask you what you were going to say. But from my own perspective, I was ignored for quite a long period by a certain somebody. And actually, that hurt worse than being like hated by somebody else. It actually did. I mean, and so to be ignored, I think, is like a almost a worse sin in a way than, you know, being hateful towards someone, even though they're both bad. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying for me, I almost preferred, you know, the hatred versus being ignored. I
well,
mean,
yeah, then
you
you just
know,
know, yeah.
and I mean that's weird. And why would somebody do that? And I don't know why I did, but I preferred being I guess because I was acknowledged at least,
Right.
you know. Whereas if you're ignored, you're just like, you know, they're not paying attention. They don't give an F, you know, and whatever. And it's almost more hurtful. So I don't know, Robert. I think you were trying to say something earlier. What were you trying to say?
I am. I'm letting your delay get caught up a couple seconds here. I'm actually picking up your words through your delays. Hold on. My brain can actually do that now. It's kind of cool. I usually listen to loud music. Yeah, it's just basic. We're in goatee world. You guys ever like watch the cartoons where you go to a dimension and you wake up and everybody has a goatee? It's like everyone has the evil goatee. So when I first woke up, I was at work at the Museum of Flight. I worked at the Museum of Flight. So imagine my fucking scene. But I've seen all the changes in real time in the museum. I'm a museum nerd, archaeology. So all my world's upside down. So
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, so everybody at work, all of a sudden, they were acting like they had goatees, like the opposite of themselves, the evil version of themselves. And I was like, these friends I used to joke with, we would play all the time. It's a museum. We would play like I'd always jump. We'd get on the planes. We'd do all this stuff. We'd have a joke. But all of a sudden, they're acting more angry, short-tempered. Everybody's under more pressure. Everybody's like freaking out. And I'm like, what's going on with everybody? We used to be laid back, man. It's a museum. Like a flip-flop kind of a job. Why is everyone freaking out? I eventually got carried out. I guess I had a heart attack. I didn't know that, but they said I did. So I haven't been back since. But that was a year ago, over a year and a half ago, I think. A year and 2 months.
Well, Robert, do you think you might have died then?
Well, here's the funny thing. You know, Korrie in our group, Korrie nailed something because she was talking about a heart attack. Now I'm like fighting with I had 2 sets of ambulance drivers. Yeah, probably shot somewhere else. But here, yeah, I probably did have a heart attack. See, because your heart attack used to be on this side. This is where your heart attack came from, right? So you have this pain here. Well, my pain was here. I said, you guys, it's not a heart attack. The pain's right here. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. I said, guys, it's right here. It's not a heart attack. Well, apparently, I guess in this place, this is the heart attack spot.
Oh, wow.
No, that's a Mandela effect. So these guys, I guess they were being sincere. I'm like texting, hey, dude, can I text my brother? I'm in the ambulance. I'm having a freaking bucket list done, man. I'm like this. Am I dying, man? Can I text? Yeah. And so I got to the hospital, and they had things all over me, and the guy was all pissed off. He's upset. I'm like, why are you mad I'm alive? He can't figure it out. Eventually, they finally stopped, and then the Filipino lady's like laughing. She's like, he's not going into cardiac arrest, doctor. I'm like, I'm not. So eventually, he stopped. And he says, we're going to keep you overnight for study and test. Took all my blood. And I said, no, dude, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going back to work. So I went back to my job, and they're like, what are you doing here? I said, I'm back to work. They said, you had a heart attack. I said, no, I didn't. The pain was on this side. They were bitching inside. They're like, no, it was. So now I know, I guess it was this side.
So, Robert, did you see effects before your supposed heart attack, or
way before, the year before?
Okay. Well, that's what I was wondering, because like if it was definitely afterwards, then you could pinpoint it as far as like perhaps a death scenario, you know.
Well, I saw 2 effects before any scenario, though. I will say it's
I know, but how would you really know? Because like there's some people who like they say, you know, I mean, a semi truck could just have mowed you over and not known, you know.
Yeah.
But see, like for me, it disturbs me because the only reason that I am an advocate of the death scenario is because I tried to commit suicide when I was 13, and that's right after that is when I started seeing effects. And so, you know, if it wouldn't have been for that, I don't think I would be an advocate of that position. But, and I'm not saying it's, you know, done deal, and that is the reason. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it's strange. It's strange to me that right after I tried to commit suicide, I started seeing those effects, you know. I mean, because I was 13 when I tried to commit suicide. I was 13 when I saw John Deere change, and I saw Sally Field, Christopher Reeve, I saw Charles Schultz, Rod Sterling, McDonald's go to McDonald. I saw all those in the 80s, all of those. And so, like, you know, CERN, there were particle accelerators around, but there was no LHC. You know, there was no D-wave. And I'm not saying that doesn't have anything to do with it. I think it possibly does. I'm just saying that those weren't around when I started seeing effects, you know.
Yeah. I was about 20, and I was watching the news, and Nelson Mandela's funeral was going by.
Sir,
I mean,
no,
I might not.
I don't remember any of those damn things. I don't remember none of those things. But I'm a scientist, and I never heard a thing of those things. Zero.
Well, see, let me go to that, Robert, because when I was in engineering school, I have an engineering degree.
Awesome.
I haven't used it very much. I only used it for a couple years, and then I was a math teacher for a while, so I could have same schedule as my kids and stuff. And I don't use it now, but I still remember all the math and everything. But anyways, what I'm getting at is that when before I graduated, I knew about CERN, and I actually was, my degree is in metallurgical and material science. And so I was taking a lot of ceramic engineering classes. And they used that at CERN, and I knew about CERN even then. This was like, I graduated in 1990. So this would have been like 88, 89, 90 time frame. And I was tempted. I wanted to go to CERN to work. And I'm glad I didn't now, obviously. But, you know, it's so weird because I feel like, you know, and then also just with the whole Egypt thing, I was in Egypt and I could have, you know, touched the black goo there. And there's other things that, like, there's so many just weird things that, like, I could have done, but I didn't. And, you know, I'm thinking now it was a blessing, but, you know, I mean, because I really wanted to work at CERN. I did, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's odd. It's odd because it's just like everything in my life blocked it, but in a way, it was a good thing because now it's like, I'm glad I'm not a part of all that crap. You know, I really am. I'm glad I'm not a part of that. You know, but at the same time, I understand it a little bit more than. I mean, I'm not trying to put myself up over anybody, but I'm just saying I understand because I have an engineering degree. I understand it a little more than your average person. I'll just say that.
Right. Right.
You know.
Yeah. No, there was a time I wanted to work for evil. I didn't care like what happened to the next person.
More than your average person. I'll just say that. You know.
Nice. I got you fixed. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys.
That's okay, Robert.
I didn't care like what happened to the next person.
More than your average person. I'll just say that. You know.
Nice. I got you fixed. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys.
Turn it.
Oh, God, this is hilarious.
Robert!
This is crazy. Oh my God, this is crazy.
I was gonna say, Robert, turn that effort down.
So you have no idea what's going on right now. Is when Scott Harrison tries to bring me on, it doesn't work. He can't get me in. Yeah, so what you're hearing is what I hear. That's exactly what I'm hearing. You guys are hearing. I'm having nothing but massive feedback. You guys, you're saying the sentences 5 or 6 times. It's circulating your sentences over and over again. The bugs are in there. It does not want me to hear you guys.
That is so weird. Well, listen though, you guys, Scott's going to be on in 5 minutes, so let's go ahead and get off here because that way it'll give people a chance to get a drink or go to the bathroom or whatever. And also, I don't want to infringe on his time at all. But thank you, Landon, and thank you, Robert Wood, for being on the stream. And you know, you're welcome back anytime. And I've loved talking to both of you. And we had an interesting conversation, and I hope it can continue sometime. And everybody have a great day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Thanks, Landon. Thanks, Robert. We'll talk to you guys later then.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.